Heartwarming story. A little girl doesn't have to do anything to fund her dad's surgery because his expenses are covered by his country's universal health care. Human determination. Man bikes 18 miles to work every morning because he wants to, and not because he can't afford a car and would be fired if he's late. Spirit of brotherhood. Neighbor hosts housewarming party for elderly resident who doesn't need help paying rent because his pension is more than enough. So inspiring! Local middle school student bakes dozens of cupcakes because their home economics class is doing a baking unit. Their school is fully funded with everything they need. This feels like calibrating my normal detector. This is so funny, average Yankee behavior. I like that it has little wheels. Heaven forbid carrying your cross be difficult. Some rich guy in a power suit carrying the cross with support wheels is a perfect metaphor for the entire cult that has become the Evangelical Church. Imagine Banksy throwing down his hat in frustration. No matter how hard I try, nothing I write will ever be as fricked up as the stuff somebody who thinks they're creating a wholesome AU with unexamined beliefs will make. Okay, hear me out. Everyone knows that space is very, very cold, and the sun is very, very hot. So I assume there's a bit of space kinda near the sun, which is just right. Balmy space. Yes, that's where we are. It's actually called the Goldilocks zone for anyone who's curious. And it's the only reason why Earth can support life. I just saw a DNI for evil intentions. Nobody puts up a warding talisman anymore. Just a frickin' DNI. Going 30 miles per hour over the speed limit in my lifted Honda Civic with Cops DNI spray painted on both sides. I think the only person I've met in real life with a 100% career satisfaction was this gal I knew who was a presenter at a Children's Science Museum and delivered every line like she was running a WWE match. Every time you passed the room where she was giving a presentation, you'd hear something like, "Who's ready for cephalopods?" And the kids would go absolutely nuts, tearing. I feel like the power here is really just infectious joy and excitement. You show them why they need to be excited, and they will be. That's how you make learning fun. Okay, there's two ends of the horror spectrum. We have Eldritch horror. We cannot and will not describe anything. And Gothic horror. Minimum 4 pages to describe a staircase. Do both at once. The narrator describes the house in extreme detail to cope with the inability to describe that which lives inside it. Your house is freaked up. Maybe so, but that's a really interesting idea, and I want to read a story like that. Does anyone have any suggestions? Every time magic is at its lowest, it somehow finds a way to dig even deeper. Where do we even go from the office? Surely there's no way it could get worse. Parks and Recs, not secret layer, Ubisoft. Family Guy. Rick and Morty is realistic considering Wizards of the Coast has collabed with them before, furthering Hasbro's quest to do a magic crossover with every single other property they own and doing a Monopoly themed set, complete with a profoundly half-baked attempt to implement a game mechanical analog of Pass and Go. Some of the top hat is straight up busted in Commander. Body positivity has largely failed because people start arguing about attractiveness and romantic prospects instead of respect and dignity. Nobody needs to find anybody attractive, but everybody needs to find all physical flaws insignificant when judging a person's worth. This is truly the best summary of what it all should be about. Hey, y'all got any grounded realistic stories about two transgender women just screwing? Like no magic or sci-fi, it's just two T-girls going at it? Best I can do is give you an 80-chapter hardcore sci-fi transformation, you know what, with hypnosis. Based, but not what I'm looking for, boss. Thing I run into a lot. Very transgender writers out there, this is a call to action. Sorry, I'll suggest something else next time. No, wait, come back. Fun time isn't real and you can't have it. Yes, MasterCard. Sorry, MasterCard. We're the astronauts Mark Lee and Gene Davis married in secret 9 months before their joint flight to the ISS and didn't tell NASA until it was too late to train replacements. They're the only married couple to have ever flown in space together. Can you imagine they try to kiss and it's just blink? Fun fact, astronauts will sometimes press their helmets together to talk to each other. Because both sound waves can't travel through space, they can travel from helmet to helmet as long as the helmets are touching. This phenomenon was accurately predicted by science fiction's author Robert Helaine, who wrote it into one of his stories several years before humans went to space. Wait, you can't get married and go to space together? Why? Hot take of the day, a worrying number of leftists are actually just evangelical Christians with the serial numbers filed off. The world is a capitalist hellscape, but we just have to wait for the the revolution happens, when everything will be magically fixed. Any attempt to make actual progress makes you a lukewarm liberal. Anything less than the apocalyptic revolution, which we are forever waiting for, by the way, is completely useless. Also, consuming certain media and making certain lifestyle choices is sinful and a bad praxis. I agree that, a lot of people have delved right back into the extremism to a point where it doesn't matter and you're failing yourself. But also the amount of people who claim, no, we're making actual progress by meeting these people halfway on things that you can't meet people halfway on is really bad as well. I can't meet someone halfway on whether or not people deserve rights. I can't meet you halfway on whether or not you can send people to prison for their skin color. I can't meet you halfway on that. I can't. There's no halfway to be met. But yeah, there are some people who take this way too far as well, that's true. So, are all the Christians gone yet, or is this going to be an afternoon rapture? It happened, but the only true Christian on earth was a green-breasted hummingbird. He will be dearly missed by his friends and family, who assumed he got eaten by an outdoor cat. But other than that, life remains unchanged. Gonna start random discourse now. Living in a two-story house is elitist. Moving to a foreign country is cultural appropriation. And stop saying something is easy. You are slut-shaming the task. Oh, Pete, I know this is a joke, but just remember that if you go knock on enough doors asking to see the devil, eventually he may answer. It's so wild to me the Medici family still exists. Motherfuckers are old money. People on Twitter are like, you have generational wealth if your parents buy you groceries. Meanwhile, these suckers are living in Beverly Hill mansions bought with their great-great-great-grandpappy's investment banking money from 1378. Imagine having ancestors playable in Civ. Imagine having an ancestor who gets killed in an Assassin's Creed game. Oh, honestly, my favorite place to work. Where's my brother work? The hole. That actually looks really comfy. Apparently the rapture is supposed to happen tomorrow or Wednesday, and so Christians are selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Thanks for the intel. I need some new kitchen chairs. My parents told me the rapture was happening and implied I would be left behind, so I said, great, did you set up all your money to transfer to me when you're gone? They said, well, the rapture might actually not happen. God is going to take us to our final rest soon, and we'll all go to heaven while pagans will stay behind. This is an opportunity to make as much money as possible before we go. It's peak U.S. American Christianity. Special thanks to Willow, our glass passenger.